In the previous chapter, we saw Gizilin expose the ducal family's hidden spies and shock the royalists with a massive supply convoy, declaring that the civil war had already begun. Branford launched a ruthless purge across the capital. Meanwhile, the Salvation sect accelerated its plans, as the mysterious Levier decided to personally eliminate Gizilin before it was too late. Heavy rain poured across the area as Count Fo desperately tried to escape. After a long search, several knights finally managed to track him down. They immediately moved to capture him and ordered everyone to block his path. Fouad gritted his teeth and continued running while cursing the royalist faction. He realized that the situation had spiraled out of control far earlier than expected. In a panic, Fouad broke through a door and rushed into another room. However, Rosalyn Branford was already waiting there with a large group of knights surrounding the area. Rosalyn calmly declared that the pointless game of hide-and-seek had finally come to an end. She revealed that most of the spies connected to the ducal family had already been arrested and confirmed that everything was over for Count Fouad. Despite the situation, Fouad only smirked and insisted that it was far from over. Suddenly, he loudly called out to the priest and revealed that he had successfully brought the daughter of Marquis Branford, just as instructed. Begging desperately for mercy, Fouad pleaded for the priest to save him. The knights were left completely shocked after hearing those words. Many of them believed that Fouad had finally lost his sanity and immediately prepared to arrest him. At that moment, a thick fog suddenly filled the entire area. Realizing something dangerous was happening, Rosalyn quickly ordered the knights to stay focused. Meanwhile, tears of joy rolled down Fouad's face after sensing the priest's arrival. Overwhelmed with happiness, he cried out in relief and begged the priest to kill everyone present and grant him salvation. Just as Fouad celebrated the priest's arrival, the situation suddenly took a horrifying turn. Without hesitation, the priest drove a sword straight through Fouad's chest. Rosalyn Branford and the surrounding knights were left completely stunned by the unexpected betrayal. Confused and desperate, Fouad questioned why the priest had done such a thing to him. The priest coldly explained that Fouad's careless tongue had become a problem. As punishment for that recklessness, he declared that Fouad would become a holy knight and spend the rest of his existence atoning for his sins. Moments later, Fouad's body began transforming into a terrifying demon-like creature. The horrifying sight filled Rosalyn Branford with fear. Meanwhile, the priest calmly turned his attention toward Rosalyn. He acknowledged the daughter of Marquis Branford as someone talented in both intellect and swordsmanship. Even so, he admitted that he disliked handling matters in such a forceful way. Despite that, he declared that Rosalyn would have no choice but to accompany him for a while. As the scene shifted elsewhere, concern continued spreading throughout the kingdom. Inside the palace, a knight asked the king if he was worried about Branford's daughter. The king immediately understood the topic was Rosalyn Branford. The knight reported that 2 entire days had already passed since Lady Rosalyn disappeared, yet not a single trace of her whereabouts had been discovered. The king remained calm and stated that since the incident happened within the kingdom itself, the culprits would eventually be found, unless they were literal ghosts. He further explained that Rosalyn was the daughter of Marquis Branford, and if the ducal family truly kidnapped someone of her status, they would naturally erase every possible trace behind them. Even so, the king revealed that he had already prepared himself for problems like this, ever since the civil war began. Afterward, the king wondered where Gizilin currently was. At that moment, the scene shifted toward the palace entrance. As Gizilin finally arrived, the knights respectfully opened the doors for him as he headed straight inside. Gizilin entered the dining area and immediately asked Dark about the situation. Dark carefully examined the surroundings and admitted that the entire area had been cleaned almost perfectly. He explained that whoever kidnapped the Marquis's daughter was extremely skilled, making it natural that ordinary humans failed to discover any clues. However, Dark confidently declared that such tricks could never deceive his eyes. Activating his special power, Dark carefully searched the entire area. During the investigation, he noticed countless signs of destruction and realized that a brutal battle had taken place there. Soon after, Gizilin discovered a letter left behind at the scene. The message stated that if he wanted answers about his mysterious power, he needed to follow the direction pointed out by the black energy. The warning also made it clear that Rosalyn would die if he failed to come alone. Gizilin quietly focused on the phrase mentioning the black energy. Suddenly, Dark excitedly announced that he had found the trail. He believed the enemy likely assumed nobody would ever locate them so easily. According to him, revealing the location through such traces was a major mistake. However, Gizilin immediately realized the truth behind the situation. He calmly explained that the entire thing was a trap. Dark was shocked by the conclusion. Gizilin then revealed that the enemy must know something about his mysterious power. That was why the clues had been intentionally left, in a form that only someone with his abilities could discover. To Gizilin, it almost felt as if the enemy deliberately wanted him to find them. As the situation continued growing darker, Rosalyn slowly regained consciousness. The moment she opened her eyes, terror filled her face after seeing the lifeless bodies of all the knights scattered around her. The horrifying sight left her completely shaken. Standing nearby, the priest calmly asked whether his actions had startled her. Panicking, Rosalyn demanded to know who he truly was, and questioned what he had done to all those people. The priest answered without emotion, and explained that the dead knights were merely sacrifices. According to him, those sacrifices were necessary to open a completely new world. He coldly described their lives as nothing more than resources needed to create that path. Rosalyn was left speechless after suddenly noticing something impossible in front of her. A massive rift had appeared in mid-air itself. The priest then revealed that once the rift fully opened, the true masters of the world would finally return to reclaim the land. Hearing those insane words, Rosalyn angrily screamed and called him a complete lunatic. However, the priest remained calm and told her there was no reason to rush because she would soon understand everything herself. He then casually mentioned that Count Ghislain Fenris would probably arrive soon to witness everything alongside them. The priest admitted that he had personally invited him there. Rosalyn was shocked after hearing Gizilin's name connected to the situation. She immediately insisted that Gizilin was not foolish enough to fall for such an obvious trap. Despite her confidence, the priest calmly declared that Gizilin would definitely come. According to him, Gizilin simply had no other choice. Meanwhile, as the danger surrounding the kingdom continued increasing, Gizilin was already moving directly toward their location with unwavering determination.